You mentioned Tyre Nichols. I'm curious if you had a perspective on that isn't, we've heard, and I agree that
called
it's
him Tyre earlier.
Yeah.
Tyre Nichols. Yeah. Tyre Nichols. Yeah. I need you to edit that. No, just kidding. Tyre Nichols. Yeah. I've never actually heard his name said before. I've only read it. So
sure.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Sorry. What about it?
I did the same thing. So I had to watch it on YouTube before I had an understanding, but was curious. The I think response that I'm hearing from everybody is obviously this is a horrible thing. I'm curious if you have a perspective other than that is sheds light on this or is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that bad at all. The guy. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, like, obviously, I'm going to share it's a horrible perspective. The one thing I guess that I kind of jumped into Twitter and thought about this a little bit. There are certain grand narratives that we have over society that people like to view things through. When people have like a pet issue or a certain ideology, they like to feel like their one thing is the solution to everything. So if you talk to red pillars, like the collapse of the West is foundationally because men aren't men and women aren't women anymore. If you talk to feminists, they might say that the power structures that have been installed by men, the patriarchy, are what are, accelerating us towards collapse in the future. That the inherent violence that men like to expel on women and other people, plays out on a geopolitical level. And that's where Putin and all that. If you talk to everybody has like a lens that they view things through, and that's why everything is happening. I don't like the racist lens where every single time something bad happens to a black person, the cops are racist. People look at it like the cops are racist. Well, they're black. Well, they have internalized racism. Like, well, okay, well, where's the evidence that they were being racist at all? Well, it's the police force. It's like, okay, well, was it a racist call or whatever? It's like, well, no. Systemic racism means that the origination of the policing in the United States had racist ties to it, and police officers today across the United States probably have some form of implicit bias, and they participate in racist structures because legislation has made it so that black areas are police monitors. Like, holy shit. Like when we're at this level of like racial analysis, like every single action that every single person is doing at all points in time become like simultaneously racist and not racist and, sexist. And it's too much. I think at some point we need to be able to take a step back and look at some things and be like, these look like pretty shitty cops. I don't know if one of them had a personal issue. There was that rumor floating that Tyre was with one of the wives of the officers. I think Tyre's family came out and said that's not true. So I don't know if it's something personal or what, but like right now, what I saw on video was a handful of really horrible cops that seemed like they were on a hardcore power trip. They tried to arrest somebody. The guy resisted and ran at first. And for some cops that like flips a switch that is like, oh, you're going to run for me? Well, I'm going to make you regret ever running for me. And they went on a crazy power trip. Now, is it possible that they're racist? Sure. Is it possible that there's going to be some evidence that comes out where they've like been racist and it's like, ooh, that was probably racist? Yeah, for sure. Is there evidence right now that this was a result of white supremacy or anything to do with anti-black racism? Absolutely not. There has not been a shred of evidence provided. So when people jump to these like, it's racist, these cops are racist, it's like, I don't know if you can say that. Like, there are black people that are capable of being to other black people that aren't racist. They're just kind of like people. Same thing with white people, same thing with Hispanic people. Some of them are racist, some of them aren't. Some of them do bad things because they're racist. Some of them just do bad things because they're, people.
Yeah. You mentioned so many things that I want to touch on in there.
You can always cut me off if I'm rambling. So.
No, this is why we have you. They get to hear plenty of me.